We'd like to begin the meeting with an opening ceremony and a pledge of allegiance. We've asked Councilman Shakespeare if he would lead us in that. Ben?
Repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our Father in heaven, we give thanks to meet as a city this evening at this city council meeting. We're so thankful for the blessings thou hast given us, for the area in which we live. We're grateful, Father, for this year and for the many blessings it's brought. And we ask at this time that thou will bless us with moisture and rain that we desperately need. And bless those who live within this area and those throughout our nation. That thy spirit might be with all of us. We say these things humbly in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Ben. I'm Mayor Rick Rosenberg. We have a full council present tonight. Councilman Wendell Gubler, Councilman Denny Drake, Councilman Jarrett Waite, Councilwoman Lena Mathis, and Councilman Ben Shakespeare. Appreciate everybody being here. Before we begin the meeting, Brock, new instructions for Zoom or?
Yeah, so with Zoom, we've done some updates in here for our system, and Zoom, we did some upgrading. Christelle's been working on this of improving the video quality online for our live stream. And with that upgrade also they're doing some closed captioning. We're going to try that out as we do. So the meeting goes. So if you could speak, directly into your mic, try not to speak over people so the closed captioning can work. It will help out. Hopefully that will improve in our live stream. We can have it on there, also help with our minutes. So do that. We appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, sir. Communications and appearances. Do you have any? I have none, Chief. Okay, we'll move on to conflicts and disclosures. Counselor, is there anything on the agenda tonight that you may have a conflict with that you need to disclose? Item number 2, C2. The preliminary plat for Solace was prepared by Rosenberg Associates, so I just need to disclose that. Anybody got anything else? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move into the working agenda. There's no public hearing scheduled tonight. The consent agenda. Council, you can see it there. It's the claims and minutes, the calendar of events, upcoming, and we need to set a public hearing to receive public input regarding the proposed tentative budget for fiscal year 21-22. Councilor, is there any discussion or question on any of those items?
I do need to add on item 3 of setting the public hearing. It is for April 28th, 2021 is when that public hearing at 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock?
Yes.
What was that date again, Brock? April
28th.
28th.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as published with the public hearing to receive public input on the proposed tentative budget for April 28th.
Second.
Got a motion by Denny and a second by Wendell. Any question or discussion on those items, council? All in favor say aye. Wendell?
Aye.
Denny?
Aye.
Jarrett?
Aye.
Lena?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Thank you, council. Item C1, consider approval of an interlocal cooperation agreement with Washington County for medical surge and event equipment distribution and joint response and operations. Chief Hancy?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So yes, this item is interlocal cooperation agreement for medical surge and event equipment distribution and joint response and operations. That's a big mouthful, isn't it? So what this is an agreement with the participating cities and the county to disperse some medical equipment and supplies that were purchased through the COVID CARES Act money. And so recently, I might have mentioned in the past, one of those items is an ambulance that we're looking forward to getting. That's likely to be here at the end of May, we anticipate, first part of June. Some of that other equipment would be an auto pulse device, which is a automatic CPR device. a heart rate monitor and an AED, a power cot gurney, and some disposable medical supplies, bandaging, paper, things like that that go along to assist that. So the agreement would be for those participating cities or entities to provide that equipment in the event of a medical surge or a medical standby, such as a pandemic or a special event like county fair possibly, or Ironman events, something like that, and personnel as available. Now, the personnel would only come if it wouldn't deplete our resources in our city and if we were able to, provide the medical personnel to go along with that equipment. So it really doesn't cost the city anything out of pocket to purchase this equipment. It's already been purchased, most of it through the county, through these COVID funds. And again, it would just be for our participation in this agreement upon approval. So are there any questions or anything I could answer?
The item number 7 on page 3, the agreement shall be jointly administered by the Hurricane Valley Fire Special Service District Chief.
Yes, or representative. So this was put together by Chief Tom Coolman, who has a special service district in the Hurricane area. And so he's the one who kind of spearheaded this and brought it before the council or the county commission. And so he's the administrator of the program. So he has purchased a lot of the equipment. It'll be dispersed through his agency or entity. And when we get that serial numbers of that equipment, that's how it will be categorized and dispersed. So
will it show up on our asset sheet or on Hurricane Valley's?
It should show up on our asset sheet as, from how I understood it is, they've purchased it, but they are giving it to Santa Clara City or the other municipalities that they've purchased for. We just are giving the agreement that in the case of these emergencies, that we will send it to that emergency.
yeah, and if I might add, we're free to use it in our day-to-day operations, such as the ambulance, power gurney, all the equipment we're free to use. We just need to replenish it and have it available in the event that the county calls for the use of that equipment.
So the ongoing cost, is there an ongoing cost to it, or is this a?
Well, I guess it's a 5-year agreement, and there is, along with that 5-year agreement, I guess warranty with the vehicle that's the ambulance that we're going to get, along with the electronic heart monitor and AED. The service agreement is purchased along with that. So really the only cost is if we use some disposable supplies, we just need to replace those. Does
That's
that answer your
perfect.
question?
No, and I think my second is just to you, Matt. I'm assuming you've looked at this and it's on there. It says legal department's good. So.
Yep.
All right.
Can I ask a question on number 8? On number 8, it says at the termination, withdrawal or termination, that the equipment goes back to the county. So after that 5-year period or the 5-year optional extensions for a year, does that mean after either the 5 or 10 years that we're going to surrender that back?
The way I understand it is only if we terminate the agreement is when it
Okay.
would go back. So as long as we're entered into the agreement or renew it, it's ours to keep and to use.
Okay.
Does
Does that sound right, Matt?
Sorry, I'm just pulling it up here.
And my question's along that line. What happens after the agreement ends?
Yeah.
I believe it states in that a year by year agreement can be renewed.
It just says up to 5 years. So
Right.
like at 10 years, what happens is my question.
Yeah, I look into that, see. So after 10 years, Is that what the question is after 10 years?
Yeah, what happens at the end?
Yeah,
Do we keep it?
we,
Because
good question.
6, 7, 8, 9 years from now, we're going to be spending dollars on maintenance. And then at the end of it, they just come pick it up.
Yeah,
I
is
guess
it-
we could release it back to the county if we don't want to keep it.
Yeah, as it's currently written, it does say that the equipment will be surrendered back when the agreement ends, whether it's canceled or terminated. So yes, that would be the case.
So it's kind of like a no payment lease. We turn it back in at the end of the period. Use it as long as the agreement's in effect.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And if it gets to be a maintenance drain, then we call
We
them and
don't
tell
want
them
it,
to come
we
and
give
get
it back to them and
Yeah.
we're done.
Or maybe we just give them our old one, trick them into some old equipment.
Switch the serial numbers. somehow.
Exactly.
Okay. Council, any other questions?
I'll make a motion, Mayor.
Go for it.
I move that we approve the interlocal cooperation agreement with Washington County for medical surge and event equipment distribution and joint response and operations as presented.
Second.
Got a motion by Jarrett, second by Lena to approve the agreement as presented. Any question on the motion, council? I'm going to do roll call on this one anyway. Ben,
Aye.
Lena,
Aye.
Jarrett,
Aye.
Danny,
Aye.
Wendell.
Aye.
Ayes have it 5-0. Thank you, council. Thank you, chief.
Thanks, Mayor and Council.
Item number 2, consider approval of preliminary plat for the Solis subdivision, single-family subdivision in the R110 RA zone on 44.49 acres generally located along Northtown Road and east of Bell Sol, presented by Mr. Bundy. Corey?
Hello. This zone is R110 RA. The general plan designation for this project is mixed use residential and open space for the Tucson Wash. It's on 44.49 acres for the R110 RA single family subdivision area. The applicant is Sean Sullivan. Project engineers Alan Hall with Rosenberg and Associates. This proposal is for 128 single-family lots. The density of approximately 3.0 lots an acre. The request is approval of the preliminary plat for Solis subdivision with 128 single-family lots in 3 to 5 phases. The Tucson Wash runs through the property and provides open space and also provides a paved trail along the west side of the wash. Lots are proposed along both sides of the wash. The soils report prepared by AGC states that the property is suitable for residential development. City staff has requested that secondary water irrigation lines be installed within the subdivision to allow for secondary irrigation water to be used for landscape areas. Traffic access will come from multiple streets, including Northtown Road, from Rachel Drive, proposed Affirmation Drive. If you look up here on the screen, we have, Affirmation, this is Rachel. This is the new Affirmation Drive. Right here at the bottom, it's Northtown Road. Northtown Road will not be a through street anymore. It'll stop and come back down to Affirmation. Affirmation will go all the way over to Red Mountain, which will continue all the way down to Pioneer. And then, of course, Red Mountain will come all the way up to the north into around a proposed roundabout and the western corridor. All interior streets will be public streets, meet the city standards, design standards. Right-of-ways have been reserved for the future extension of Red Mountain Drive and Hamlin Parkway as shown on the preliminary plat.
Staff has requested that the developer improve with curb gutter and sidewalk on approximately half the width of Red Mountain Drive along the subdivision's frontage. Traffic impact has been completed by Avenue Consultants, a local traffic engineer firm. It's determined that a traffic signal at the intersection of Affirmation Drive and Rachel Drive is not required as part of this proposed subdivision. So at this location right here, where there would not be a signal required. Open space in the Tuacahn Wash. Tuacahn Wash contributaries were consolidated some years ago into a main wash channel which runs somewhat to the east of the former grade wash. Erosion protection, rock riprap has been placed along the wash under the previous grading permit. Mr. Jared Bates with Rosenberg and Associates previously provided a letter and map explaining the consolidation of the wash over the past decade. The applicant proposes to preserve and enhance the Tuacahn Wash 100-year floodplain by considering a trail on the west side of the wash. So once again, on this side, going all the way up, right along here is where the riprap was installed. Part of that realignment. FEMA's 100-year floodplain boundary is the objective standard for preserving the river and wash area, and the applicant plans to keep the 100-year floodplain area as permanent open space. No development is proposed within the 100-year floodplain of the Tuacahn Wash. The road crossing of the wash will be triple barrel box culverts as proposed on the city's master transportation plan. The size of the lots are ranging from 7,680 square feet to 8,405 square feet. The proposed density of the single family lot area, as stated, was 3.0 lots an acre with a 2-acre floodway area being excluded. Privacy walls, a solid privacy wall 6 foot high is proposed around the perimeter of the project where double fronted lots are proposed. The privacy wall will be placed along Rachel Drive, Red Mountain Drive, Hamlin Parkway, and Affirmation Drive. A 10-foot wide landscape strip will be installed along the street side of the privacy wall as per city code. An HOA will be established to maintain the common area landscaping strip. Also, city standard street lights will be installed per city code throughout the subdivision. Staff recommends approval of the proposed preliminary plat, noting that certain issues need to be resolved prior to submitting the final plat. Planning Commission recommends approval of the preliminary plat as presented. And that's staff's report. Yeah. Have any questions for me?
Questions, council?
Corey, one of the questions I have is right there where we're dumping back onto Rachel. How far is that above the school?
The school north parking lot entrance
You want to pull that map back up?
is
Still on.
those dash lines
Right there.
right there.
I'm wondering if there's any way that with that being the only outlet for that subdivision until we get Red Mountain developed, if those developers along Red Mountain would be interested in partnering and finishing Red Mountain so that we have a second outlet for all those homes.
We've talked to Patrick Manning and Black Desert Group, which is the in-law. They basically own all the property down to the wash. They're planning on, as part of the golf course construction, building the Red Mountain up across the wash. Remember the development agreement?
Mm-hmm.
Has them build it up across the wash and leaves one piece between Solus and the turn into the golf course maintenance building. I think they would. partner with that. This is also where that Regal Home site
Right.
was right there. As we did the traffic study, we looked at, the one study addressed 3 potential developments, including the Silverado project on the south side. The signal will be, when all of the projects happen, you will probably get the signal or require the signal at Red Mountain. And so I think there's a willingness. There's a commitment in the development agreement. So assuming they move forward, we're still waiting for that to come back to council.
I just look at it and say, you know, we've got 165 townhomes being built right there across from the school that's going to dump onto Rachel. Then we run 40 acres of homes back onto Rachel, same spot. It looks to me like we got a real problem at 8 o'clock in the morning and at 4 o'clock in the evening.
One thing that we're also doing with this project, you can see the median down at the entrance.
Yeah.
There's a deceleration lane planned on Rachel turning into it. We tried to open that intersection up so we anticipate that's going to be a busy intersection. And so we made some improvements to the street connection to facilitate it. And then the medians that are on Rachel, the last remaining median at the north end is going to be removed, like what happened with Desert Village. So that can be restriped and have that additional movement in there to help with that as well. But yeah, I'd love to see that road get put in. Al?
Yeah, Alan Hall with Rosenberg. And you can back me up on this, but in the short term, isn't the irrigation line going up through there? So we would have a gravel secondary access in the short term.
Yeah, the city of St. George is getting final design right now to install the irrigation line that's going to serve the new golf course at Black Desert. And part of that irrigation project rough grades
The road.
their road bed to put that line in. And so the crossing won't be in at the bottom, but the road bed will be built from there up. And we have the dip through now to where you would have probably a construction access that could be used during construction of the project. And the city has public road right away all the way through to Red Mountain now.
It'll be interesting to see which one goes the fastest, the single family or the others. But, there's a lot of traffic going to be hitting right in front of the intermediate school, and that'll be a bottleneck.
Yeah, till Red Mountain's built. I've talked to the developer about, say, Black Desert went away, that he would have to extend before he could do full build out on this. He'd run into the same fire marshal limitation. How many lots is it, Chief? So when he gets 30 homes on the west side of the wash, that automatically kicks in that second
that road.
access. And the right of way is there. That's the kind of the nice part, is
Okay.
that would kick that in.
But that access could be the gravel road. I mean, it doesn't need to be
It just needs to be fire. He'd
Well,
probably
they
have to
could get
come in and
they could
base
get
it.
equipment up there and
Yeah, that's right. Just so it's a drivable, hard packed surface that we could get fire apparatus and equipment
Yeah.
up secondary access to those homes.
But if you're going to eliminate some of the traffic on Rachel, you'd want it passable for a town car.
And we do have in the city's transportation impact or capital facilities plan, we do have some funds budgeted for the crossings and associated with Red Mountain. I think the signal's in there and the crossing.
Yeah, I think
both. So I think there's the ability to build that and that's assuming Black Desert just went away. But I think you could have some stuff to put that second access in. Other questions?
I got a contact information for Utopia, and I'm wondering who we want in the city to reach out to Utopia and tell them about this. Like I discussed in our last meeting, where they might come down and put the fiber in.
The Public Works.
Gary, Dustin, who wants that email?
I'd probably say Gary, just because it's going to go in the power trench, right? And the city installs the power.
Well, the contractor does. the contract, or the developer has their contractor do the
Right.
trenching, so
You
we.
provide the materials, and I would probably have Gary do it.
Okay, I'll send that email to you.
Okay, great.
Other questions, council? Thank you, Corey.
Thank you.
Staff, any comments, anything to add? Okay, if not, I'd look for a motion, council.
I'll
I
make,
move, go ahead. Sorry, Lena.
you can go. I'll make a motion that we approve the preliminary plat for Solis subdivision, single family subdivision in R110 RA zone on 44.49 acres.
I second it.
A motion by Lena, a second by Denny to approve the Solis subdivision as presented. Any questions on that motion, council? Let's do roll call. Ben,
Aye.
Lena,
Aye.
Jarrett,
Aye.
Denny,
Aye.
Wendell.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, council. Item 3, consider approval of bid for slurry seal project. Mr. Mortensen.
We put a slurry seal out to bid. We received 4 bids. It's for about 1.6 million square feet of slurry. American Pavement came in about a penny cheaper than the other companies. We're asking for your approval to award that to them. There's also a list of the roads that we're going to be doing that are already prepped with crack seal. They've come and slurred in our city many times, always done a great job for us, honored their warranty.
What is their warranty?
A year. They take care of all notifications to the public. Kind of just, they take care of everything.
Yeah, they've been, all in the past have been excellent. So
Yeah.
it's been good.
I don't foresee any problems with them.
Any other questions, council? Ready for a motion?
I'll make that motion that we approve the slurry seal bid to American Pavement Preservation LLC for $222,085.42.
Second.
Got a motion by Ben and a second by Lena to approve the award of the bid for slurry seal project to American Preservation Inc. as presented. Any question on that motion? Excuse me, American Pavement Preservation LLC. Okay, money item, roll call. Ben,
Aye.
Lena,
Aye.
Jarrett,
Aye.
Denny,
Aye.
Wendell.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Dustin. Consider approval of interlocal agreement with St. George City for the Ironman event. Brock?
Yeah, so this is an interlocal agreement. It really is an interlocal agreement that we've approved in the past. It's just bringing forth the new dates of the Ironman races that will be here in the area that could come through our city, depending on which race it is. So it's just updating the dates and setting forth that for the interlocal agreement. So there's 5 races. As I go through here in section 1, we have the 70.3 World Championship, the Ironman American Championship in 2022 and 2024, and then the 70.3 North American Championship here in 2021, 2023, and 2025.
And the first North American is like 17 or 18 days from now.
Yeah, first part of May.
Okay, questions, council? I know Kevin Lewis and the county are excited about it. 2,700, it's sold out. There's 2,700 athletes. A lot of the top 100 are coming. First time some of the elites will be here. They're still looking for some volunteers. You can go to there was an article in the paper today looking at website if maybe wants to volunteer for that. It'll be a busy weekend.
As all of them are these
As
days.
all of them are these days. That's right. Okay, if there's no questions, then I would look for a motion.
Well, there's just one slight question. I know that Ben and I would take a leg of that if you would lead the swimming portion of it. And if you're able to complete it in time, Ben will take
I'll take
the run, I'll take the bike
I'll
ride.
take the walking section part of it. Well, just get us through the swim. Well, Mayor, you get us past the, swim the time. We've got the other two.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't win that race in my boat.
I said, I had the same agreement with Jim Erdley.
Okay, anybody willing to make a motion?
Yes, I'll make that motion. I motion that we approve the amendment to the interlocal agreement for the Ironman race as presented.
Got a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion by Jarrett, second by Ben to approve the Ironman agreement, the interlocal agreement with St. George City for the Ironman event as presented. Any question on that motion, council? Roll call, Ben,
Aye.
Jarrett, Arlena,
Aye.
Jarrett,
Aye.
Danny,
Aye.
Wendell.
Aye.
This is unanimously, thank you. Okay, Brock, consider approval of an updated building official and planning zoning economic development coordinator job description.
Yeah, so we have talked about this previously, creating a new position, removing from the current building official's job description, some of his duties in planning and zoning, and allowing the building official to stay with handling the building inspections, plan reviews, and that, more of where the experience and education is. And currently we outsource our planning and zoning. We have a contract with that. We put out for contract and do that on a contract basis. But discussion with council, or was discussion to create a position here within staff. Some of that came back and we talked about having some economic development added into that job description. So we sent that back to TechNet, who works on our job descriptions and market analysis, and they put together a job description that took pretty much the planning and zoning aspects out of the building official's job description and added a few things to that, working with LUDMA and that. And then also when we sent back for the economic development, they added in the economic development section that they would work on as the economic development director, coordinating the economic development for the city, working on creating relationships with businesses and with the chamber, the county, EDC, and working with also EDC Utah to make sure that continue to develop the commercial that we have here in the city, creating those relationships to bring businesses here. So we have this here before you for your review and approval, if there are any changes that we need to make. But I think this allows the building official to focus on what they need to, and not the planning, but also then brings it in-house to where we can have a little more control and direction as to where our planning and zoning goes, as well as creating new economic development, which we have not had. So
Brock, I noticed just one typo
okay.
Under the economic development section on the first page, the third paragraph down in the very last line, it says Santa Clara Area Chamber of
Yeah.
Commerce. I'm assuming that's supposed to be St. George Area
Yes.
Chamber of Commerce. Okay.
Think big, Jarrett.
Oh,
Think
I
big.
know. Washington has their own, and they don't, and they do, and they don't.
Any other comments, council? It's something Brock and I have been talking about for some time, wanting to make sure that we've got some planning officials on board. Bob's retired once already and in Montana fishing tonight, which is where I wish I was. But so we want to make sure we've got somebody here, and again, somebody who can start looking at economic development opportunities within the city, working with some of our businesses, some of the chamber activities. The cheerleader, we lost Jack. Jack was probably the city's biggest cheerleader when you walk the street. I think we need a cheerleader back, so this position, I'd looked for a lot of that.
Mayor, is this, I mean, looking down the road at South Hills and, I mean, there are some opportunities out there if we, so I mean, I'm looking at that as well going, obviously we've talked, do we annex, do we not, or could we? Would we want to? I don't know, but certainly when I saw that part of the job description, that's immediately what I thought is it gives us the ability inside our main, our own city to work on things like that, the shooting range, things like that can
Help out with all that stuff,
yeah.
where there's really not a staffer now, other than maybe Brock, that we look to for a lot of that stuff. This would give a person to be able to do that.
And then you look at the subdivisions coming in and building departments stretched as it is anyway. So
So all the ordinance updates with the legislature and all the ordinances that changes they're making, the ordinance really needs some attention.
Help possibly with the training of the planning commission. Any other questions, comments, council?
The agenda item also mentions an updated building official job description. Are we going to see that as well?
No. So the updated, it's updated. All that is changing in the building official is just that planning and zoning section just is removed from theirs. So we don't have that one here tonight for that one. Once this one, if we got approved, then we can bring that one back to update that one. But that's really all that's changing in that building official is taking all the planning and zoning out, leaving it as a building inspection plan reviewer, that aspects of it. So
Any other questions, comments, council? If not, I would look for a motion.
I move that we approve the planning and zoning and economic development coordinator job description as discussed.
Second.
A motion by Denny and a second by Jarrett to approve the updated planning and zoning economic development coordinator job description as presented. Any questions on that? We'll do roll call. Wendell?
Aye.
Denny?
Aye.
Jarrett?
Aye.
Lena?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Motion passes. Mayor and council reports. I'm going to let Lena go first and everybody will learn from her example.
We are learning. We sabotaged her computer just to bring her down with us a little bit. So, but she got it fixed.
Awesome. My Tri-City meeting was canceled, so I have no reports.
That's a great report. Ben?
Well, fine. So I've got a couple things. No meetings, but just wanted to thank the police. I know they're patrolling these streets I see they've got people stopped all the time. It's busy out there and certainly appreciate where they're at and what they're doing. And I know it makes a difference. So second one was I went out. This is more of a story, but also for Dustin and them. If you notice the signs at the end of Benelli, the caution signs that were up are gone. We didn't know why until I came out Saturday morning a week and a half ago. Noticed my porta potty was tipped over out there. Didn't think anything of it until I went up there and realized it had been pushed about 4 feet. And then there were tire tracks over the curb. And so I thought, well, geez, I've got cameras. Unfortunately, the camera out front, the closest one, had just been installed and hadn't been focused. But we've got the young man on camera in a white Ford truck. I've told my boys to post it out there, and I told them they've got 2 weeks to get back with me and bring the signs back. But we've got them on camera tipping the porta potty over. But as we zoomed in on a bigger TV, they pulled those signs out and put them in the back of their truck. I was far enough away. We can't get a great visual of them, but I'll get the video to the city on that. But we are missing at the end of Benelli there, where it drops off into the field there in the Ents Farm. Those caution signs have been pulled out.
That's the red diamonds? Is that
Yeah.
what they were? Those red
Yeah.
end of road signs?
Like I said, we never even noticed it until we zoomed in on the camera. But Anyway, so the cameras, on that note, the cameras around the city at our parks and that, I'm really glad we're getting those. So, and we'll have some cameras there as well. And then, do we have a vineyard? Do we have an update with the residents? I'm getting more and more questions. And I said, look, as far as the city side, until the residents come back and make it, I said, the ordinance has been passed. It's there for them to take advantage of. And do we know where they're at, or is that?
The last conversation I had with Dan Fry, who was the chairman of the citizen committee, is, and I think we reported this to council, that they were all in, or majority was in favor of the curb and gutter. They're in favor, or majority is in favor of the sidewalk adjacent to the curb and gutter. They're in favor of some type of an assessment district where they would, each property owner would pay the cost. And as described in the ordinance, they're looking for some financing, some long-term financing to go along with that. So I think we've got money in the budget set aside for Vineyard to get the engineering going, correct?
Correct.
That we get the engineering going, then we can proceed with discussions if we want to create a special assessment district to do a phase of that. There may be an opportunity for some state, what are they called? Funds, the new ones? The what's Biden's new program?
Oh, from the Americans Response,
Maybe
like the ARP.
Infrastructures.
Yeah, there may be some money coming to the city that you guys could choose to spend some of that on Vineyard as well. So I think the answer to the question right now is that we're just working on the way to do the financing, get the engineering done and working on the financing, and we'll be back to them.
Good.
We'd like to get, I'd like to see a first phase of that done, at least get started before the end of the calendar year, maybe the fall of next year. If we can get it all created and set up.
Wasn't one of the concerns how they were going to assess it? I'm talking about Danny and that.
Yeah, they came back and I think it was the frontage foot.
Okay, good.
Going by the frontage was the preferred method. There will be an opportunity for public comment. If it does go through an assessment district, there'll be public comment and that can be explored in more detail. But it seems the majority of the property owners are in favor of that one. Depends on who you ask. Is it, if you got less property, you want the area. If you got less frontage, you want the frontage foot. So mix all that together.
Obviously the frontage, by the foot seems the most, but again, it's going to be whoever you are. The reason I bring it up is obviously with traffic everywhere else, that's going to become, right now, just there's mornings when I'm like, all right, do I want to wait out on
Santa Clara
a
Drive.
Santa Clara Drive out the Parkway and try to hit those 4 lights, or would I rather just go right through the back way and come out on Dixie Drive, and so it's going to be, whether they like it or not, it's the sooner the better, I think, at this. But again, my comment to everyone asking is it's really back in their hands and it's all there. We'll, as a city, we'll figure it out when it comes to us. So
we are also looking at having some warrant studies done and safety studies done on Santa Clara Drive to look at some of the bottlenecks out there and possibly a signal at Chapel Street. See if it meets warrant to create some gaps for the side streets like Old Farm Road.
Yeah.
And some of the others.
All right.
And Rich did forward me those traffic numbers that you guys had for Pioneer. So I appreciate that. I haven't had time to go through them, but I appreciate that, Chief.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay. Jarrett?
I have nothing.
Oh, gosh. Bonus points, give me a start.
Got about 25 minutes of discussion, but I'll hold off. I don't have anything.
Wendell?
Follow Elena, I don't have anything. I'm glad you told her to go first.
I was hoping you guys would pick up on that. Okay, I'm going to go quick. I attended the Utah Farm Bureau policy surfacing meeting. It was interesting. I got to sit between Senator Iverson and Senator Ipson, which makes for an entertaining evening. But they talked a lot about agricultural preservation and things we can do to help farmers, to help preserve agriculture. And so there may be some things, I know in our general plan, we do have some language in there about preserving the agriculture and the history of Santa Clara, the work we're doing with the church on the Chapel Street Orchard, falls right into that. But there may be some additional things coming forward, and so I will, and also protecting their water, the irrigation water, and to make sure they have what they need to accomplish what they do. So we'll bring some more stuff on that back to you in the future. And the Flood Control Authority is working on updating for the 5-year plan. We haven't had a meeting at the Executive Council for quite a while, but the TAC's been busy, and we should be bringing something to you probably next month. Yeah, just so you know. Met with staff on Monday and went through city needs relative to the Flood Control Authority and the Santa Clara River and Sand Hollow Wash and Tuacahn Wash. And I think we had a productive meeting there. So we'll get some information put together on that. That's all I had. Does any of the staff have any emphasize the word pressing issues you need to discuss with the council tonight?
Just a comment. We issued 19 townhomes today.
Just today.
Just today. And they said be back next week for 24 more.
I said the numbers are going to go big now.
And they're all sold, I guarantee it.
That's a lot of good impact fee money we can put to use.
Huh?
Okay, Chief, anything? Fast study, Brock.
Just reminder, League of Cities next week.
Okay. Don't have executive session tonight?
No.
Matt, did you have anything for the council? Okay, if not, I'd look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
I got a motion by Ben and a second by Lena. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. I appreciate being able to watch one softball game this year.
I'm just going to point out, only one thing's changed.